That's right, people. Sorry to keep you waiting, but after a long hiatus, I'm finally back, ready to protect a piece of the world in my neighborhood, and review me some merry robot action animes. Hello and welcome to Mecha Anime Reviews, and without further ado, let's take a look at Diatron 5? What? This has to be some kind of mistake. It can't be. It's not even a real anime. It was made in Korea. Whatever. Let's take a look at Micro Commander Diatron 5, or its alternate title, Space Transformers, even though it's not even in space. We'll get back to that. Yes, kind of an odd choice for a comeback episode, since this isn't really an anime. This is a low-quality South Korean knockoff that got imported over to the US. However, this is Mecha Anime Reviews, and this has giant robots, so why not review it? I couldn't find any info on the original version. What I do know is that it got 2 English dubs, one version being called by its original title, Diatron 5, and the other called Space Transformers, which was produced by Joseph Lai, who was also responsible for bringing forth such beloved classics as Defenders of Space, Phoenix Bot Phoenix King, Protectors of the Universe Super Express Mazinger 7, yes really, Raiders of Galaxy, and most infamously, Space Thunder Kids, which uses footage from all of these movies, including Diatron 5. As such, you can expect nothing but quality from this fine picture. Anyway, what's the story? The Earth is under attack by all sorts of evil forces, with its only line of defense being the cyborg woman named Ivy, or Girl Genius as she's referred to in the Diatron 5 version. However, the villains come up with a dastardly plot to take out Ivy by shooting her with a bullet that infects her with a deadly virus. Just go with it. Luckily, the scientist guy comes up with a brilliant plan. He shrinks down Diatron 3 to microscopic size to save Ivy. However, this may prove to be more difficult than expected, since inside of Ivy's body is like an entirely new world, with kingdoms and all sorts of fantasy monsters, with the evil virus apparently taking the form of evil Spock and his army. Will the hero save Ivy from certain doom, or will evil prevail? Does this story make any sense whatsoever? Yes, no, and fuck no. The animation is pretty crap. The art style is a pretty generic 70s era style, but the actual movement is super choppy and extremely poor, likely due to the movie's low budget, which also explains why both the mecha and character designs were ripped off from other properties. Diatron 5 is itself Battle Buffalo from the Diaclone toy line that became the basis for Transformers. VFam and Scope Dogs show up, I think they're even referred to as such, and character designs were lifted from Space Runaway Idion, among all others. The music is terrible. When it's not being bland and unmemorable, it's almost painful to listen to and it sounds distorted. Both English dubs are terrible. Diatron 5's voices are ill-fitting, mostly monotone in line delivery and downright goofy.
Is everything ready, my fam?
Everything's ready, sir.
This is an urgent mission. Win this one.
Aye, aye, Professor.
Space Transformers is a little bit better, but still has its own oddities.
Alright, you tell me who you are and what you're doing on the screen, huh?
That talented girl Ivy is now under my control, and is being treated by my staff at the moment. From now on, I'll be giving you your directions. I'm coming now, and if you give me a great welcome, I'll let you go on living.
After having watched this movie, I can definitely confirm that Diatron 5 has scenes, stuff that happens inside of those scenes, and a certain amount of time passes as the frames on the screen move and tell a story. Not a very good story, mind you, but there is that. Okay, let me try to look for some positives first, to be fair. I guess to give it some credit, the plot isn't a direct ripoff of anything. It's actually fairly original, if completely insane. It's a fantastic voyage sort of plot where, only in this variation, giant robots have been thrown into the midst with, I gotta say, a completely accurate representation of what's inside a human body. I mean, seriously, did you know that inside our bodies there's a gateway to an alternate reality filled with kingdoms, land, people, trolls, farms, caves, space? I certainly didn't know that, but I'm glad I do now. It's imaginative, I guess? And, okay, I'm done. Everything else sucks. The characters are flat as hell and are completely unmemorable, except for the little robot guy who's annoying as shit and has a really disturbing scene.
Get you!
the story goes off in different directions, none of them adding up to much. First it's in space, and then after Ivy's been infected, there's an enemy spy that gets found out immediately, which that was pointless. Later, the heroes rescue a pair of kings inside Ivy's body and they don't show up again. Then a girl dies and her brother joins up with the heroes near the end of the movie to take out the bad guy, yada yada yada. None of this is interesting in the slightest, with a bajillion amount of plot holes. I can't even enjoy the fights because they're so boring, with weak and repeated animation ruining any badassery that might ensue. The inner workings of the girl genius's body, wow, that came out so wrong. Doesn't make a lot of sense. Even if we give it the benefit of the doubt and buy the excuse that she's a robot, there's still no explanation for why it's the way it is. The entire movie feels like a weird episode of a series that never happened, and probably the weakest moment of the whole thing is the ending, where Diatron 5 just blows up all the enemy robots in a one big ass laser, and that's the end. Diatron 5 sucks. It's moronic and insane, but the only thing it has going for it is the so bad it's good voice acting you'll get in the Diatron 5 dub, which is absent from the Space Transformers version. Don't watch it, it's not worth it, unless you're into so bad it's good stuff. Now, I'm just gonna say it right here, I'm not going to be doing any long series or anything. I want to get back my momentum, so I'm gonna focus more on shorter OVAs and other short series for now, just until I get back on my feet. And then after that we'll see. Oh well, see you next time on the next Mecha Anime Reviews.